up so early in the morning. Can't you hear the captain shout? It's time to blow your horn.
Claire, like all cab forwards, is versatile, which means she is good at different jobs. She can push big snow-clearing machines up mountains or haul long and heavy freight trains. One day she was taking a freight train to the rail yard at the big city. Everything was going well, and she was confident she would arrive before sundown. However, she was diverted into a siding by a signal. "Father," she said, "why do we have to stop?" "There's probably a passenger train coming," said her engineer. "We mustn't hold them up." Claire groaned. She hated having to wait for passenger trains. Every passenger engine she had met had been rude to her and arrogantly bragged that they were the most important engines on the railroad. Claire simmered for what felt like forever until she finally heard a whistle. A big engine raced past with its coaches. All were painted orange and red, like a sunset. This train was known as, the Daylight. It made Claire's eyes hurt. Once the daylight was far away, the signal changed to clear, and she started off again, though it took time for her to get back up to speed. By the time she arrived in the big city rail yard, it was late, and she was very upset. She left the cars and stormed off to the roundhouse. In the berth next to her was a small, boxy tank engine with the name Kylee lovingly painted on her tanks. "Hello, Claire," she said sleepily. "It's been too long." "It's because of that train, the Daylight," Claire fumed. "It made me late." "I meant it's been a long time since you visited," Kylee said, taken aback. Claire sighed. "I know. It's good to see you again, Kylee. I just get so fed up with those passenger engines. They all think they're so much better than freight engines like myself." Kylee frowned. "I'm sure they're not all like that," she said. "Don't judge the many by the few." Claire decided to stop talking about passenger trains and catch up with her friend on recent events. They talked until the other engines made them go to sleep. The journey had been long, and Claire stayed in the roundhouse the next day to be looked over and prepared for her next job. The day after that, she was brought out for fuel and water, and her engineer went to get their orders for the day. When he came back, he said to Claire, "There is an extra heavy passenger train leaving soon. We are needed on the front to help pull." "Passenger train? It isn't the Daylight, is it?" Claire moaned. But her engineer said it was, and had a difficult time getting her to go to the station. But at last, she grumbled and hissed her way there. When she arrived, she heard the Daylight engine exclaim, "You're a cab forward." "Yes, I am," Claire snapped, "and I'm sure you have a number of mean things to say to me, but I'll save you the breath. I've heard it all before. So if you'd like to get this job over with, let's get ready to go." The Daylight engine was silent for a few moments. Then they said, "I wasn't going to say anything like that. I would never be so rude." Claire fumbled, uncertain what to say next, but the other engine continued. "I know a lot of passenger engines are puffed up in the smoke box, but I don't think it's fair to say one kind of train is better than the other. Both are very important to keep railroads running smoothly. I'm sorry if I made you think—" "No, I'm sorry," Claire burst out. She was amazed by their apology. No passenger engine had ever said that to her before. I guess I'd gotten so used to it, I just assumed every passenger engine was like that. But my friend told me the other night not to judge the many by the few. I see now that she was right." The Daylight engine smiled. "Apology accepted. Yours too. Maybe we could start over? I'm Claire." "My name's Brian," he said. "Pleasure to meet you." As the train set off, you would have thought the two engines were old friends by the way they talked. They shared stories from all the different places they'd been and the jobs they'd done. They grew to have a great respect for each other. At the end of their journey, Claire found that she didn't want to say goodbye yet. "I'm sure we'll see each other again," said Brian. "Life has a way of bringing us right to where we need to be." He whistled goodbye and puffed away. Claire whistled after him and returned to the yard.
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah.